My room is a mess, I've got manga on both my side tables, and I'm about to talk about a video game press conference. I'm never gonna get laid.
Yeah, so the last couple of videos, I've been recording it with my laptop on my lap, which really limits what I can really do beyond the face and the occasional hand movements, which even then they can't go too crazy. Now that I have the camera recording my bed from really up high, I can do a lot more, and I think that'll make the videos better. I could do more jokes. Only thing is, my mom will kill me if I don't clean up.
Anyway, Summer Games Fest. This is a 4-day long event full of new announcements for new games. And the first day, we got 3 things. Summer Games Fest, the main event, Day of the Devs, and Devolver Digital. Let's go.
The whole thing starts with Jeff Keighley from the Game Awards congratulating the indie game industry for being so successful in the past year, and then he announces Big IP Adventures. Yes, LEGO Horizon Adventures. I think Sony is starting to give up. Not only is combining one of your own IPs with LEGO a surefire way to guarantee to the people that yes, you're dying, this is a Sony IP, and it's also coming out on Nintendo Switch. And then Keighley comes back and announces that there's going to be a new game by the developers of Chivalry 2. That's a game that I got for free off of Epic, and I've never touched it. And the game in question is a Left 4 Dead clone. For Christ's sake, Valve, just make a third game. And then this lady comes up to tell us that there's going to be a new game in a series that a bunch of people care about. It's Quidditch. Don't get me wrong, I like Harry Potter, but I don't think anyone is asking for a new Quidditch game. Might tick someone off, though. Next, we have Cuff Bust, a Prison Break game featuring these adorable little gremlins. And wouldn't you know it, someone dropped the soap. Star Wars Outlaws, the first open-world Star Wars game. I refuse to believe that. Next up is an indie game called Neva from the creator of Grease. This doesn't look like a game. Jeff Keighley said that he actually played this game. This does not look like a game. Sid Meier's Civilization 7. I know absolutely nothing about this series, and I'm not really into God games in general. The only thing I know is that Civilization 5 used to always show up in the Walmart PC section, and then Civilization 6 came out, and then that was always in the Walmart PC section. And then we get another trailer for Black Myth Wukong, which still looks incredible, but there's nothing new. And then there's a trailer for a VR game that's already out, and then there's... Oh.
Yeah, so like with Jeff Keighley's other project, the Game Awards, the Summer Game Fest, at least the main event, is covered with regular ads whenever there's not a big announcement going on. And these ads have basically nothing to talk about. They're not even supposed to be part of a huge, big Summer Game Fest itself. They're just there to pad out time and keep the lights on. And that's it. So don't expect me to talk much about them, because what is there to talk about?
And then the art directors from Persona 3, 4, and 5 talk about their new game, Metaphor Rifatazio, or whatever it was. I think this was also at the Game Awards. This looks interesting, but it's still a turn-based RPG, and unless I have confirmation that it is, in fact, as good as the Persona games, I'm not interested. And then we get a trailer for a VR Batman game, Ascent of the Arkham Universe. I'm pretty sure most people didn't like the last 2 Arkham games. And Street Fighter 6 is getting a new character in the form of Terry Bogard from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And if that didn't tick off at least one person, then I don't have a great enough reach. Am I gonna stick you this long to get Bison? Here's a Metal is a roguelike. Cooperative. Hack and slash. Muso. Hey, new Dragon Ball fighting game. I've been meaning to watch Dragon Ball, or at the very least read it. And then there's some updates to a free-to-play FPS game that I've never heard of and care nothing for. But apparently one of the expansions is based off of a Ridley Scott movie, so that's pretty interesting. Never heard of Black Hawk Down, though. I said Hawk. And they made an entire game out of that one guy from Smash Brothers. And you know what? I need to play more fighting games, and maybe I'll check out Fatal Fury. Become one with your games! You too can become the real John 117 through the power of a sound system. Mecha Break. This is a new mech game. You know, I've been meaning to get into mech games. There's a bunch of them that have caught my eye, namely Daemon X Machina, Steel Battalion, and Armored Core 6. And yet, for some reason, I've never tried any of them except for those demos for Daemon X Machina, which were amazing. Why haven't I gotten into these things? I mean, I love Evangelion. And then Blumhouse is entering the gaming sphere. Holy moly, I love horror movies. Who knows, maybe they'll finally make some horror games that are actually good. This is incredible, and I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm interested in the farming sim. And then there's a new Power Rangers game that seems to cycle through every single genre imaginable. Alright, and then we have another pretentious short film masquerading as an indie trailer. I like my games how I like my women. Not. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. We have the first game. I keep forgetting we have it. I know nothing about it, but I tell you what, this trailer for the second one really brings a new definition to the name. I'm not gonna make that joke, but they have sex. Slitterhead from the guy who made the Silent Hill games, and I tell you what, I will trust any former Konami alumni with my life. Except this seems less like a horror game and more like an action game mixed with Super Mario Odyssey. Killer Bane! Killer Bane! Did you hear? It's Killer Bane from the guy who made Looney Tunes Back in Action and Kung Pao Under the Fist. It's Killer Bane! Everyone's hyped for Killer Bane! And then there's a rock climbing game. If I wanted a realistic rock climbing experience, I would go outside and do it. Speaking of which, it's been a while since I've gone hiking. Wondershop, a game made by the same guy who made Stanley Parable. It's about a woman who is a fighter but ends up getting trapped in the woods and having to run a tea shop, and I kind of relate to her. I should be holding a real man's controlling and fighting demons. Why am I playing solitaire on my computer? Be honest, how many of you actually remember seeing the trailer for the first Ascendant? Because I didn't. And then Innersloth comes on stage. They're the developers of Among Us. And what they've been doing is they've been funding more indie games. And you know what? Great for them. Why is this at Summer Games Fest? And they also previewed the upcoming Among Us TV show. I want you to kill me and take me under. I wanna live no more. And then we get more information on the Sonic Generations remake with the funny name. Holy moly, is that Kingdom Valley? An open world MMO inspired by Dune. I still need to see part 2, and also I don't play MMOs. Battle Aces, an RTS, a genre that was basically created by Dune. I don't play RTSs. The finals apparently still exists. If you remember that being announced at the Game Awards last year, then you're probably an FPS sweat. Alan Wake 2 gets new DLC and a physical release? You're telling me it wasn't already? And now we get some more MiHoYo gacha games. Here's the thing, I'm not reckless with my money. Okay, I am, but not in that way. Kunitsugami, The Path of the Goddess. I have no idea what this is. If it's a hack and slash, I'm excited. If it's an RTS, you've wasted my time. This M-Core skit lasted way too long just for them to announce a Skate reboot. Power's getting some updates, that's pretty nice, but how about a disc? And then we get a load of gameplay for Valorant for some reason. That game's been out for years. Why? And also, whenever I think of Valorant, I think of that one video where that one girl kept oohing every time that one guy got a kill, which tells me that Valorant is meant for Twitch whores and gay people. But it's also an FPS, so I'm still not interested. And then they single out some random voice actor because he played a video game character in the upcoming movie Inside Out 2. Disney, can you please stop existing? There's no reason for you to. Just sell yourself to Squaresoft so that they can make Kingdom Hearts. And Supercell is making a new game. Completely forgot what it was, but a man with a chicken suit started singing Nickelback, so it's all good. These 5 words in my head scream, are there any real games? Monster Hunter Wilds. I can't wait for this game to come out so that every single gaming press conference can shut up about it. And then, to cap it all off, we get more information on Phantom Blade Zero. Don't get me wrong, this game looks absolutely amazing, but this is... a game that's already been announced is not how you end a gaming press conference.
So that was the main Summer Games Fest Expo. So after this is Day of the Devs, which I didn't watch because I don't really care about indie games. Gone are the days of Doom and K-Story being able to either revolutionize the video game industry or bring back a long-dead genre of games. These days, indie games are almost as formulaic as AAA. You've got your Souls-like Metroidvanias, you've got your quirky Earthbound-inspired RPGs are secretly about depression, and you got your pastel-color cozy farming sims. So, I didn't watch it. Instead, I played Hotline Miami. Which was made by Devolver Digital. Speaking of which, Devolver Digital had their own thing today, right after Day of the Devs. So I watched it, expecting a bunch of nice announcements in similar vein to Hotline Miami. Instead, I got a horror movie.
I'm not saying that the announcements were abysmal or anything. I'm saying a horror movie was the framing device for the entire direct for some reason. Doesn't mean that the announcements were any good either. Cult of the Lamb gets couch co-op. Honestly, I would have figured that would have been in the console versions from day one. The Crush House. I think it's The Sims meets a schlocky reality show. This holds absolutely no interest to me. Tenjutsu is kind of neat. It's the closest thing to an actual Hotline Miami type game in this entire thing. Oh no, it's a roguelike. Get the bag. DLC for Talos Principle 2. If nothing else, this kind of sold me on the actual game because apparently it's a Zelda-style puzzle game, and I do like those. Angerfoot, an FPS where your weapons are shoes, so you can kick people in the crotch. And now for the final announcement of the Direct, and therefore the final announcement of the day. I'm gonna bet this is just gonna be nothing. Oh, this looks... This is amazing. I want it. Possessors. This is the best announcement of the day. Wow, this looks amazing.
And that concludes the first day of Summer Games Fest. Here's a list of the games that I was actually interested in over this first day. 2.5 hours. That's pathetic. But there's still 3 days left, so let's just hope that the next 3 days have anything worthwhile. Good night. Day 2 had family indie games, wholesome indie games, Hispanic indie games, and female indie games. I slept through it. Alright, day 3. This time, there's stuff that I'm actually interested in. We got the Xbox show, the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct, and then the PC Gaming show. This is actually some real stuff, and the Xbox show is particularly important because I don't have an Xbox Series X. I have a Switch, I have a PS5, and I have an Xbox One. But there hasn't really been anything to sell me on the Xbox Series X as a console yet, because it really only has 2 exclusives that aren't on either the One or the PS5. Starfield, which ended up being a standard Bethesda release, and Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, which looked incredible during the first trailer, but now that it's out, it looks like crap. So, this is their chance to actually sell me on the system. That said, I'm a weeaboo. I belong with the Switch and the PS5. To break into the Xbox sphere, I have to look a little cooler, which is why I have these fingerless gloves. Alright. Oh, wrong hand. Yeah. And there it is. Alright, let's go. Xbox.
First up is a sneak peek at Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and I tell you what, they know how to make a trailer. They probably don't know how to make a game, though. And then Phil Spencer, CEO of Xbox, comes up on stage and talks about how glad he is that Microsoft bought all these companies that they haven't shut down yet. And then he talks about how this next game that's coming up, he's very excited to announce as a lifelong gamer. And you know what? I don't blame him at all. Doom 6, subtitled The Dark Ages. It's a Doom game set in the Dark Ages. What do you know? Although, Phil, if you really were a lifelong gamer, you'd already know this already exists, and it's called Heretic. Play it day 1 on Game Pass. And after that, we get this game, which looks even more like a generic zombie game than the last generic zombie game. It also looks extremely low budget. I don't even know who on earth this is for. This is State of Decay. Okay, I see that game at GameStop for like $5 all the time. I think that explains it. Play it day 1 on Game Pass. Then we get a new game from BioWare. I thought they got shut down. Well, I guess now I have a reason to play the Dragon Age games. And here's something new from Bethesda.
Elder Scrolls 6.
The screen glitches out.
Fallout 5.
We get space.
Starfield 2.
Nice try, moron, but it's DLC.
Hmm.
Yep, Starfield was dead on arrival, and they're still trying to breathe life into it. Honestly, I commend the effort, but at the same time, just give it up. You made $1 million mistake. You're Microsoft. You can get over it. But hey, guess what? Next up is Fallout.
Oh,
76 DLC.
Oh.
Yeah, trying to resurrect games that are dead on arrival. Try trying to resurrect a game that was dead on arrival and remained dead for 6 years. My goodness, Microsoft, what is up with you? Now, I have heard that the addition of being able to play as a ghoul is actually a big deal for people who actually played Fallout 76, but I haven't. I've played a tiny amount of Fallout 3, a slightly longer amount of Fallout 4, and that's about it. This game's called Expedition 33. I nearly cried while watching this trailer. What? What? I need to get this game. What? Play it day one on Game Pass. South of Midnight. Something about this screams Sweet Baby to me, but I don't care because the combat looks incredible. Play it day one on Game Pass. Then there was some Warcraft stuff. The entire time I was chanting Warcraft 4, but it ended up just being an expansion to World of Warcraft. And then we get some gameplay on Metal Gear Solid Delta. Oh my goodness, it doesn't look that much better from the PS2 version, but I don't care. It's more Metal Gear with David Hayter as Naked Snake. Yes! And then there's some more Sea of Thieves junk. I don't have Xbox Game Pass, so I don't think I can play it even if I wanted to. And I mean, I do, but still. Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. You blow stuff up, you kill gods. It looks like it's not a first-person shooter. If it comes to PS5, I'll consider it, but it's not worth getting an Xbox Series X for. Play it day one on Game Pass. Age of Mythology. Funnily enough, the entire time I thought it was Age of Empires. Either way, I don't play God games. Play it day one on Game Pass. And then we have yet another FPS. Perfect Dark. Okay, I'm gonna have to get out Rare Replay. Holy moly. Play it day one on Game Pass. And then Phil Spencer comes back up to announce more stuff for Diablo 4, which is the premier roguelike. I don't like roguelikes. Seriously, you can make the trailer look as awesome and creepy as you want. It's still a roguelike. The new Fable game. I've seen this one before when talking about how ugly Western video game women are. Play it day one on Game Pass. Fragpunk. Hate rules? Change them. Well, how about we change the rule that every single video game press conference has to have a million first-person shooters and roguelikes? Winterboro. It has chopping down wood. Throw it out the window. Play it day one on Game Pass. Mixtape. In lieu of gameplay, they decided to tell you that you will be able to listen to Bullet with Butterfly Wings on repeat while playing the game. Play it day one on Game Pass. Microsoft Flight Simulator. Control plane with a tiny little thumbstick. That sounds like the best thing ever. Play it day one on Game Pass. Elder Scrolls Online. They were playing that godforsaken We Belong Together song that always plays on Variety Radio for some reason. Ooh, Square Enix is making a new game. Oh. A new Life is Strange game for Tumblrites to fawn over. Is this what we're getting next year instead of our yearly Final Fantasy? Next up is Indiana Jones.
You stupid American cartoons! I'm Pickle Rick!
This one's also an FPS, but I still want it because it's Indiana freaking Jones. There is no denying Indiana Jones. Even when Disney took a hold of it, sure, Dial of Destiny wasn't great, but it wasn't Star Wars bad. It just didn't have much of an ending. Everything else was incredible. So yes, I am definitely playing the Indiana Jones game. Play it day one on Game Pass. Mecha Break, yep, this was already in the main event. Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers, how many samurai games do we need? Play it day one on Game Pass. Avowed, I forgot everything about this game, and it doesn't really look that interesting either. Play it day one on Game Pass. Atomfall, same deal, but looking at the footage again, it kind of reminds me of Bioshock in a way, for some reason. Play it day one on Game Pass. Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Did your father ever tell you why my bones ache in the weather?
Either I heard that incredibly wrong, or we have a Fuda. Stalker 2. I thought this game was already out. Play it day one on Game Pass. And then Sarah Bond, the president of Xbox, tells us that there's one final announcement. But first, she would like to talk about how much she adores video game preservation, in the exact same breath that she announced a new, all-digital Xbox Series X. Preservation! Alright, here we go. Final announcement.
I got gypped twice before, but I'm still gonna go for it. Fallout 5!
Nope, Gears of War.
Dang it.
Gears of War is a series that I've never really played for some reason, and I have no idea why. I mean, we have the first game, and also the series pioneered the cover shooter. No, it didn't, but it brought it back into the limelight after light gun games went by the wayside. But the thing is, a cover shooter on a system without motion controls sounds abysmal. And also, naming your game after the day where the American troops stormed the beaches of Normandy puts your game to a high standard that's so high that absolutely no first-party Xbox IP could ever hope to achieve. You're getting tired of this because I know I am.
And that was the Xbox showcase. Honestly, probably the best thing in this whole thing so far. Which is kind of saying something because everyone thought that Xbox was leaving until a few months ago. So them having the best thing probably says a lot about the current gaming industry. So next up is the COD Direct. But the thing is, I don't play Call of Duty. I took a shower today. Call of Duty players don't take showers. We typically don't either. But still. And also, even if I did play Call of Duty, this is for the Xbox. And the Xbox is missing something very, very important. The one thing that makes FPSs bearable. Motion controls. So, I skipped the Call of Duty Direct. So, next up, Sally Jolly Rogers and let's swab the poop deck, because next up we're about to sail the seven seas of the Piracy Gaming Show. I am an idiot.
Alright, before the event began, there was a top 10 things that happened in PC gamings over the last 10 years. And number 1 was the rise of Battle Royale games. Never in my life have I been more proud to be a console gamer. And then the presentation starts, featuring our host, Sean Plott, aka... He and Mika Burton, the other host, spend the next 4 minutes doing a really, really long comedy skit. And this is the most milquetoast Disney Channel humor you have ever heard. Because this has to appeal to a wide audience, which means no one can get excluded, and good humor is offensive. Good humor puts someone down. Since you can't do that, this is just boring and obnoxious. Get it over with! Get on with it! First up is Among the Wild. Looks like something my sister would be into, but I am not. Starbirds. This looks like a mobile game. Lornvale. You know what? I'm just going to keep a counter of all the FPSs and roguelikes from this point onwards, instead of just having to mention them every time. Ale Abry, a tavern tycoon. This is the Dry Channel. Get out. Here's a game called Wonder Stars. Play an anime, it advertised itself as, making it clear that it was most certainly not made in Japan. Southfield, a farming sim with ragdoll physics. Kill me. Finally, we've got a good game, Steel Seed. The combat looks amazing, the setting is jaw-dropping, and thank goodness, it's also coming out on console. Stormgate is an RTS, and they spent 6 minutes talking about it! Mars Tactics is a turn-based strategy game, which makes it marginally more interesting than RTS. But the thing is, the only turn-based strategy game series that I care about is Disgaea, and even then, that's mostly because it makes me feel certain things of the nether regions. Toads of the Bayou, same shtick, but it's got a card mechanic. Sumerian 6, same shtick, except no, it's not. It's actually a stealth game. Okay, sign me up. All Systems Dance. Let's see here. A blatantly anti-capitalist message, check. Technicolor skin that can't exist in real life, check. A conflict being resolved through nonviolent measures, check. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have found ourselves the ultimate liberal arts video game. Now, if this guy only releases his game through his website and exclusively ships out physical copies, well, that's still stupid, but at least he's consistent. But I guarantee you, it's going to be exclusively released on the big evil mega corporation. Fumes is a game where you drive cars, but looking at the footage again, I can't tell whether it's supposed to be Gran Turismo or Twisted Metal. Copa City, a soccer tycoon. I repeat, soccer, not football. FIFA, not Madden. This is soccer. From the makers of 2 games I've never heard of comes Tenpopo. It's My Singing Monsters. And then comes the most obnoxious, ear-grating, brightly colored Xbox Game Pass advertisement you've ever seen. Made marginally better by the fact that the main character is a cute anime-style woman with somewhat of a chest, except for the fact that I'm 20 days clean. Cataclysmo is an RTS, and I'm almost tempted to add an extra counter for that. Battle Aces was already featured in the main event, and you know what? Screw it. Citizen Sleeper 2, this looks like one of those spreadsheet games. Demon School reminded me that I need to play Persona 1, 2, and 2. Unrailed 2, the children yearn for SimCity. Space Station 14, I like this battle scene, but I guarantee you the gameplay's nothing like it. Unbeatable is another liberal arts faux anime game, and it kind of reminds me of Good Volcano High, and also Punk is Junk, but you know what? I'm into it. I like it. I'm interested. Let's go. Card game. PC gamers sure do love clicking on people, or losing all their progress they've ever made after one single mistake. And no, I'm not counting Inferni as an RTS, because I'm pretty sure I gave someone tinnitus with how many times I played the Sonic Ring sound. Super Soldier's walking down an aisle, Lemmy gets, oh my goodness, this is a racing game. Death Sprint 66, this looks incredible, I want to play it now. Also, I think it's funny how a racing game is rated M, Peggy 18. Provisional. Crescent County is another racing game, this time on broomsticks, and you can smell the liberal arts on it with it trying to shoehorn a visual novel and Animal Crossing. Forgotten Seas, hey, look at that, that's what I'll be doing. G.I. Joe, Wrath of the Cobra, knowing is half the battle, the other half is Streets of Rage. Shell Runner promises endless replayability, and I believe that means Debtors Club to get to steal from people in the most boring way possible. The Land of the Magnates, this kind of looks interesting, kind of reminds me of the Nier games, except it takes place, I assume, in the past rather than in the far future. Why not? Cat Quest 3. I'm pretty sure I remember talking about the first game when it was first announced, and now there's a third one. What on earth? Remember the Crush House from the Devolver Direct? Yeah, it turns out it's not The Sims at all. It's actually a first-person shooter about pandering. Go-Go Town. There's your Sims. Star Trucker. You know, I liked Death Stranding, but I liked Death Stranding because it was made by Kojima, and it wasn't a space game. Wait, Escape from Tarkov has been in early access this whole time? And then we get a few games that are already out. What's the point? Splody, a 2D platformer without a jump button. Instead, you just blow yourself up to get everywhere. Honestly, that sounds like a really neat idea. I think I might have to get this one. Just don't mind me.
Yo ho ho and bottle of semen.
Flintlock Siege of Dawn. This was just in the Xbox Expo. 83. Technically a third-person shooter, but a military shooter is still a military shooter. Oh, thank goodness you're saying this is almost over. Generation Exile. I'm pretty sure we've gotten more God games than RTSs at this point. Reka. That's a farming sim. I think. Wait, no, take that one back. This is a first-person murder mystery, and that is actually interesting. Though I think it would be more interesting if instead of being in room 46, it was in room 429 in a world that's so unkind. And then they gotta advertise some guys who build PCs, because this is the PC gaming show, and that means the PC building show. Look, and I thought Starbirds looked like a mobile game. Aloft is another cozy game. Oh my goodness, please make it stop! Screenbound. Oh yeah, I forgot another type of indie game. Games that are given it unique gimmicks that sound kinda cool on paper, but are absolutely atrocious in practice. Hotel Galactic. Earned it, earned it, earned it. Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days is a 2D cinematic platformer in the vein of Prince of Persia or Another World, and the fact that this looks interesting to me shows you how terrible this has been. Oh boy, we got a twofer here! The Rise of the Golden Idol. I think this was in another presentation and where they showed nothing, and now there's something, and it honestly looks pretty good. Every day, we fight a mysterious alien invasion, turning ordinary people into heroes. Wait, why are you fighting that? That sounds like a good thing. Tales of Seikyu is another farming sim. Island of Winds. I remember nothing of it, and it looks like it was made with generic Unity assets. Airframe Ultra, a motorcycle game with PS1 style warping polygons. Sure. Stormforge has crafting, no thank you. Windblown is an isometric action RPG, no thanks. Oh, thank goodness, 2 more games. Let's get them over with. Yeah, great. Okay, final game. I expect nothing. Just and just. Why can't the rest of this presentation look this good? This looks like an incredible game. I want to play it now. Why was the rest of the presentation total crap?
Is it over? Oh, thank goodness. Alright, so this was garbage. Most of these games weren't even worth a pirate. So, here's a list of games from both of the directs today that actually caught my eye. And I think I'm gonna go to sleep now. All there was to do with Ubisoft, and I don't care for Ubisoft. Summer Games Fest is over, the gaming industry is dead, and only Nintendo can save us. I need Who the heck are you? Whoa! Whoa! Put that down.
Who are you,
Put that down. And how did you get the bathroom?
Who are